Good evening, dear all. It's so great to see all of you. We are very happy to see so many people joining our Zoom and also Facebook. And every Thursday, we devote our time to self-professional development through investing our time in ourselves and also learning from experts every time. And today, I'm really happy to introduce EWB honor member in Uzbekistan, Mrs. Yayra Abdurahimova, who has been really supporting
Hello.
English with our borders in Uzbekistan and also in Tajikistan. She has been quite, generous to share several webinars with English with our borders and also just deliver last year summer online intensive course for English teachers of Uzbekistan and Tajikistan, which was quite successful. And today, Yayra is going to talk about the power of feedback, navigating formative assessment. A couple of weeks ago, we had another speaker from the United States who also shared about formative assessment, and it was quite informative and interesting for our audience. Yayra, welcome to English Without Borders, and
Thank
we are
you.
you. And let me also just share some information about our speaker. Yayra Abdurahimova is an experienced English language teacher with over 20 years of experience in education. She has co-authored several books on English teaching, and she has worked on British Council's projects, developed curricula, and led teacher training. She holds TESOL and CELTA certifications and has attended training programs at NILE, Norwich Institute of Language Education, and the IVLP International Visitor Leadership Program in the United States. So once again, welcome virtually to Tajikistan, Yayra, and I'm giving the floor to you, dear audience. Please use this chance to ask your questions after the presentation of our speaker. And of course, stay active. Thank you so much, and over to you, Yayra.
Hello everyone. Hello, Nasiba. It's nice to see you here. And then thank you for inviting me again to be again part of English Without Borders. And then it's always nice and then important, we can say, to work with program. And I'm excited again to be with you. So let's just start. But before starting, I really want the audience to be active, because this is not just the presentation, but this will be like kind of interactive, okay? Because we learn from each other. So it's not like one-side presentation. There will be time when I ask you to write in the chat. So please contribute, okay, with your active participation. Okay. So let me share first. Okay, I hope my screen is visible. Okay, in that case, let's start. Today's webinar topic is power of feedback, navigating formative assessment. Okay, just a minute. Yes, we will discuss mostly about feedback. Okay, understanding the role of quality formative feedback in improving students' learning. And then also we will discuss its characteristics and then how feedback can help students to improve their writing. And then also we will look at some strategies for giving students better feedback. Okay, so let's look at these two photos. And then could you just tell what is the chef doing in both photos? So there are two photos, and then we can see chef. And could you just share your ideas?
Good evening. Shall we send your feedbacks on chat book or?
No, not just orally, just speak. Yes. What is chef
number
doing?
one? In the picture number one, the chef is giving feedback himself by himself, and on photo number two, he is waiting for from feedback from others. And I think it seems to me that he is very eager to understand others' opinion.
Okay, thank you. Yes, thank you. Very good answer. So in the first photo, you can see, as you said, that chef is trying his own food, right? So he's tasting, and then we can say that giving self-feedback. Yes, he's self-assessing. And then in the next one, in the second photo, he's waiting the feedback of his customers. Okay, so which one is like kind of formative and which one is summative assessment?
The second, the first, no, the second one is summative and the first one is formative.
Okay, yes, the first one is formative. Why? What tells that this is the first one is discussion? Okay, so we can say that he's checking to see how the food tastes, right? He's getting feedback on the taste of the food from his own mouth and then from the reactions of his customers. As we said, that the first one is formative because in the formative, we know that we assess our own work or students assess their own work. And then after giving self-feedback or when they receive feedback from their teachers, then they improve, right? And then they present the final product. That this is the like second picture. Okay, so formative and summative when the chef tastes the soup, and then summative when the customers taste the soup. So, okay, let's discuss this three questions, and then please contribute to the discussion. What is formative assessment? What is summative assessment? And which one do you do more and why? The third question is very important.
Move on. The formative assessment, it is the period of your teaching. It may be some multiple choices, and it is every day we use a formative assessment with our students. And summative, it is going to be at the end of the term, or it is going to be at the end of the course. And which one do we use more? It is actually the formative assessment, which we do it every day now, every of our courses in every of our lessons.
Okay, why? Good. Thank you.
Why? Because we have to know the level of knowledge of our students, the progress, or are they going on, or maybe they have some problems, where they have problems, where we should work, where we have to improve. It is about the importance ones about formative assessment. I think it is.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your answer. Very clever, good answers from the experience. Yes, we can say that formative assessment, this is like more process oriented, right? Because it helps to form the skills that students are learning or practicing. And then summative, this is the final kind of judgment or final product. And then usually summative assessment is like graded, right? For example, their grades are recorded. But in formative assessment, usually we do not record their grades. We just give feedback and then help students to improve, right? Yes, you said that in order to see where the gaps are, and then also have to help students to improve their skills, their language, etc. We conduct or we use formative assessment, but also not only we benefit from this, but mostly students benefit, right? They also see like their gaps, for example, weaknesses, and then strengths, and then further develop their skills. Okay, so let's look at this photo also. Do you think the player in the photo below will improve his basketball skill? Why or why not? And then if he could see the basket, or if his friend could give him guidance, why might his skills improve? So
yeah, go on, because I watched this video. There was a blind basketball player, but when he was throwing the ball, the feedback was very, very positive, and they were always telling him, yes, you're Nila, yes, you're on a set. And in this way, he improved his skills, and he stayed one of the best player in basketball.
Okay, yes, there was like kind of feedback, guidance, right? Support. Yes, there was like scaffolding, right? Yeah, what about like if he could see the basket, now he has like closed eyes, right? If his friend would give him guidance, what might his skill improve? Like, yes, you just described like how if his friend gives feedback, he could do better. Like, what if he himself sees the basket? What would be different? So he can see, and then he see the target, right? And then he just analyze this basket with his eyes, for example, and then he can just throw the ball, for example, to the basket. So this is also like peer feedback, and then or peer support, and then self feedback, right? So as we see that, yes.
Yeah, but sometimes, you know, peer support is more important because people who have imposter syndrome, they think that they are not good enough, or that they are not skilled, and they cannot you know, achieve something more. Therefore, you know, sometimes one kind word or one word of encouragement can work miracles.
Yes, yes. Thank you, Nasiba. Yes, right. So in learning process, especially in formative learning, right? So not only teacher feedback is important, but as you said, like peer support, peer feedback is very important. It's even like more important than teacher feedback because it comes before teacher feedback. And then also self-assessment is very crucial in learning, in being autonomous learner. So these three, we can say that should come always together. Not only one is important, but if we use all of them, like peer feedback, self-feedback, or self-assessment and teacher feedback, then students can improve and then reach their target, their goal, right? Okay. As you said, now we will speak about not like kind of summative assessment or what we grade at the end, but mostly we focus on the process of learning and then how feedback can help students to improve, especially their writing. So now we will discuss like written feedback. Okay. So again, like questions. When did you last time receive feedback, written feedback? And was it useful? Or we can say, when did you last time give written feedback to anyone, to your students? Mehri, please.
Okay, I got written feedback from the coach. She was from Uzbekistan, Lola Uzakova. She gave me feedback after my lesson, and it was very useful feedback for me. What I had minus on the first day, then I changed them the next day, and all the feedback. Then I got more rubric 5 the next day. It was very useful written feedback, and I still have this feedback that which she was written on pencil and one paper and two papers. She wrote the feedback for me. It was really useful.
Sure. Yeah, very good point. You mentioned that you still keep that feedback, right? Because usually feedback, when we look back at the feedback and then we remember like what was wrong and then what we should do at that point, right? Yeah, very good. So yes, I saw another colleague who wants to answer. You're welcome. Can you just speak about the third one? Did you find giving written feedback easy or difficult? So because you give feedback to your students, right? Written feedback. Mehret? Okay.
Yeah. Okay, I was as a national trainer, and I taught 10 teachers in another district, and then I was in Kushonyon and Roshan district, and I wrote them written feedback. First, it was really difficult for me. Then I used what the coach Lola wrote is feedback to me, and I used it. First, it was really difficult for me. Then I tried, and I wrote lots of feedbacks on paper, and I gave this feedback to other teachers, and they used it as a notes for them. And then the next lesson they used they correct their mistakes.
Was it in ESN program? Like, because it sounds
It
like
was
kind of
an
coach.
Yeah,
Ah,
it was an TESET program, Tajikistan
okay.
Secondary School English
Ah,
Teachers
yes,
Program.
yes. Good. Thank you for sharing. Okay, what does formative feedback mean? So we can say that it provides specific information and compares students' performance to clear standards, not to performance of others. And then it's honest and authentic, is timely, and then there is an evidence on where they are now. So when we provide formative feedback, so students have all this chance, and then our learners learn to identify the success criteria, for example, that are present or absent in a piece of work. And then also students become more skilled in assessing their own work. At the beginning, it may be difficult for them to reflect on their own work, to assess their own work, but with the help of the teacher feedback first, and then later they learn the process. And then when they read teachers' feedback, they learn how to receive and then give feedback also. So builds collaborative learning when students work in pairs or also with the teacher. And then students often pay more attention to peer feedback when we organize this feedback session because they understand that the benefits of peer feedback. Okay, now we will look at one process, and then I will now present the process of giving feedback with the examples. Okay. This is written feedback, and then this is given to the written work, okay, piece of writing. This is writing task. Can you just read it? Just look through, and then I will go further. So here in this task, students are asked to write a descriptive paragraph where they describe one place. And then they're asked to use descriptive words so that a reader who is reading a paragraph could imagine, visualize that place. Okay, and then here the rules are given. They should take a photo and then also describe it. And together with the photo, they should just submit their work to the teacher. So it says that this is like contest. This is actually a course assignment, but in order to make it authentic, this kind of task was created. Okay, this task was given to the students, and one of the students, whose name is Sevara, submitted her paragraph to the teacher, and then this is her first draft of descriptive paragraph. And then a student is writing about a bridge. Now, what we do, can you just read it as if you are Sevara's teacher, and then write your brief feedback in the chat. So what would be your written feedback to Sevara? So here we have in the chat also. People are also answering in the chat. I'm sorry, I didn't look at. Okay. So can you just write some sentences in the chat as a written feedback to Sevara? Okay. So if you're writing, can you say that you're writing so that I wait for your answers? Ah, yes. Okay, here.
We are moving, we are writing.
Okay, good. Yes. Because I don't see, that's why.
Yeah.
Okay, we have one. Good. Ah, okay, we have another from Dilfuza. The grammar points also. Okay. Okay. Bahti Begim, good. Thank you. Zibo. Okay, good. Thank you. Thank you for your contribution. We have Mihre also. Good. Paragraph is good, but pay more attention to grammar. Yes, like mostly grammar. Okay, now let me just okay, you gave feedback in the chat. Can you just look at the feedback that you gave? I mean, our colleagues gave, and then just answer these questions. What are some examples of feedback written on the paragraphs? So here we have, and then did the feedback focus on content, organization, vocabulary, or grammar? The feedback that you gave.
A bit to content and more to grammar.
Mm-hmm. More to grammar. Yes, more to grammar structure, right? Okay. Did the feedback giver respond to the yes?
But I think we have to put a bit attention to accuracy in order to move on students to fluency.
Mm-hmm.
Am I right?
Let's answer this question later. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, we will just find the answer to this together. Okay, did the feedback giver respond to the right or to the text? For example, here we have examples like he did a good job, but it would be better. Sorry? It's mixture, right? Some of you. Sevara, your description, this is like to the reader, right? Here we have, yes. And then also, Sevara, you're doing great. Yes, the writing is good, but it would be better to pay attention to the sentence. So this is like more about like the paragraph focus. Okay, we have like both, to the writer and then to the text. In what ways feedback was organized? So here, this is like, it's like separate because of online webinar. So did anyone give the paragraph a grade? No one, right?
No.
We don't have a grade. Yes. Okay. So now.
Sometimes we can use scribbles to show which parts of the which part of the sentence or just which part of the paragraph should be improved, maybe to underline or circle something. It gives more clear picture to the student, how how to organize the sentences, and and be more pointful in revising.
Yeah, thank you, Nasiba. Yes, you're right, because this is very useful. We help students to notice those kind of maybe like punctuation or grammar, vocabulary errors. So here, as we don't have this paper in hand, so you gave like at the end of the paper, we can say, okay. After writing her paragraph, Sivara decided she needed some feedback from her writing teacher about her paragraph. Now let's see the feedback of the teacher. So this is how teacher gave feedback. Sorry. Sorry. Yes, teacher gave feedback, but this was like the feedback before she just submitted second draft. So teacher is writing first. There are still some language problems, though. I highlighted and numbered the mistakes and wrote an annotation for each. Let me know how you do. Best regards. And now, so here a teacher highlighted some kind of, annotated some drawbacks in the writing. And then he is using like question style of feedback. So he's not correcting, but he's asking questions. For example, a bridge is not simple. Which bridge? So if you were Sevara, what would you correct here? So a bridge or?
Yeah, just make it specific. Which bridge? Like,
Yeah,
maybe
the
putting the
bridge,
name
right?
or location. Yes.
Mhm.
I think the best teacher is the teacher who asks so many questions and
Questions,
makes the
yes.
student think rather than
Right, you're
correcting
right.
and giving the ready
Sure.
sample. Yeah, it's
Mhm.
better to provide more questions so the students start thinking.
Yes. So this is one example of teacher feedback, because we are teachers and we like asking questions. And as you said, that the best teacher, or we can say a good feedback giver, is a good feedback giver teacher is a teacher who asks questions, who helps students to think on the work, right? Like the second one, as you see, like he puts numbers like verb. So it means that verb is missing. And then he's asking not only language questions, language focused questions, accuracy, but also the content, like who walks on the bridge, who crossed the bridge. This and the person's previous sentence are both about crossing, like how the sentence is organized on ideas, and then the repetitions, etc. So after asking these questions, after Sivara received her questions or her feedback in the form of questions, then she started thinking and then she corrected her work. So, and this was like given to her to use as a checklist to help find her mistakes. Not only these questions, but also a teacher provided a checklist to help Sivara, or the student, we can say, to just notice her own mistakes. Like while correcting or revising her second draft, she used this and then also make sure that she has yes, yes, yes to all these questions. For example, are all verbs in their correct tense? Are prepositions used correctly? And then is each paragraph intended? Is every word spelled correctly? Is it double space? So not only grammar, but also organization of the paper is also noticed here. So a student should pay attention to this. Okay, so after receiving feedback, the first feedback, Sivara just worked on her work. And then, so after second feedback, then now she has this paragraph. And this is the bridge that she was describing. Now, can you just skim her draft, I mean the third draft, and then is she really like describing what is in the picture? Okay. Okay. So now, what is your feedback to this draft? Has she improved her work after teachers' feedback? Hello? Maybe someone is writing in the chat.
I think Sevara has done a great job. I would praise like Sevara, it's much better. Yeah, it's more composite and it's more well structured, like, you know, good job. Like you have,
Yes.
yeah,
Okay.
you have done such a
Yeah.
great job by polishing everything.
Yes, here, thank you, Nasiba. Bhakti Begim also saying like, well done, Sevara. Yes, you did well. A lot of chances in your writing changes, right? It means you can do everything. Thank you, Ziba. Yes, Sevara would be happy after receiving your feedback. So actually, this was taken by my college. It's in Cambridge. This is Mathematic Bridge. So, okay. So let's look at some do's and don'ts of giving feedback. As teachers, we should be available for giving feedback because it's time consuming, yes. But if we really want to help our students to improve their skills, then we should be available. We should find time, right? And then we should be interested in what they're doing and interact with the student. Because if we ask questions, if we not, I mean, not only written feedback, but if we just after written feedback meet with the students and then discuss and then ask questions, then students get more support. We should look at the feedback as a means of improvement, and then write to the student about our experience as a reader of the paper. Like, because when we read the first draft or the second draft, usually teachers read the second draft because in the first draft, mostly students work in pairs and there will be self kind of assessment. So we should share our experience as a reader, but not as a teacher with the students. And there was like question, should we first look at the language first, because it's very important. What is like important, both are important, like meaning and then language. Language is important. Yes, students write accurate papers. This shows their intelligence, but also meaning is very important because we write in order to send message, right? We write so that our reader can understand what we want to send, what we want the reader to read. So that's why I think that maybe like a teacher could give feedback to the meaning first and then language. Okay, and then as teachers, we should be patient. This is very important because we have like 15 students, 20 students, and then every week when we receive first, second, third draft, then if we write these questions, and then meet with the students to just talk about the paper, it's time consuming, but we should think about the benefits. And some don'ts. Don't write to the text, write to the student. So this means that we shouldn't assess the paper. I mean, like we shouldn't like write only the grammar mistakes. We shouldn't show this, but we should address the student. Okay. And then this is like when we give feedback, both written and then oral, it's better not to talk to the student as if they don't know anything. That's why if we correct everything for them, and then or use red pen, or if we indicate every mistake, then it means that we want to show that they don't know anything. Maybe like if we ask questions, then they can notice themselves and then correct. There will be like self-correction. Do not criticize, do not hunt for mistakes. Yes, do not give grades unless necessary. So we should just wait till the end, because not at the beginning, like in formative assessment, like we never give grades. It's at the end when they reach summative or the product, the final draft. Because the aim of formative assessment to help students to form skills, we lead students to the summative assessment. This is very important. Okay, so benefits for the students. Can you just say a couple of words about the benefits for students and challenges for students of written feedback and then formative assessment? Mostly like written feedback. A couple of words, please.
Benefits for students going to
Yes,
be
benefits.
going to start believing on themselves. They will be more they're gonna to work on themselves, and they're gonna have some they will have some improvements on theirs. It is a benefits for students.
Yes. Any challenges? Challenge for students if the feedback are lengthy. Okay, yes. They grow academically, right? Okay, yes, good. Thank you. So what are the benefits for the teacher and challenges for the teacher?
The challenge, I think, the teacher think that maybe uh, they will stop reading, stop starting, and they fall down, I think.
Okay. So any more?
For teachers, benefits for teachers, it is going to be when they students, the teacher gonna see how they are boosting, how they are making their knowledge deeper and deeper. It is going to be the benefit for teachers.
Okay, thank you so much. Here we also have Bakhti Begim. Teachers can see the good results and challenges how to lead their students to the right path. Yes, sometimes like it may be kind of difficult to give correct feedback maybe. Yes, but practice makes perfect. Like if we always give feedback, written feedback, then this will be like our habit. Okay. Yeah, challenges for the teacher, too much work for checking and writing feedback. I do agree. This is one of the challenges. Yes, that teachers suffer. Okay. Okay, so here, benefits like empowering students have more control over what they learn. Yes, it's not like kind of waiting always from the teacher correction, but they become autonomous learners. This is also time consuming for students. And because they should read, revise several times. And then teachers benefits for the teacher adapts lesson according to the previous performance. For example, if many students have the same problem and then teacher maybe like reteach, right? They can be like remedial teaching. Okay. Okay, and the challenge for the teacher, ensuring students engage with the process, right, and reflect effectively. Because there are students who receive feedback, but they do not work on their drawbacks, and then they submit just the first draft, how it was. They do not like pay attention or work on the feedback. So this can be like a challenge also for the teacher. Okay, so if we just come back to this photo, we can say that this one is very important. I'm sorry. This should be like the main part of our teaching that leads to this photo. If we ignore this, especially in writing classes, and then we just discuss the topic with the students and we assign writing task, and then if we only expect this, then the reaction of the customers or who will read their papers will be not very positive. But if we spend more time here, then the result will be beneficial, like very positive, right? Okay, so I'm sorry it was like 14 minutes. I'm sorry. Yes, actually, this is like brief sharing. I just wanted to share how like feedback is useful, especially written feedback, not only like correcting or indicating their mistakes, but mostly like if we ask questions, if we just give checklists, and then if we give hint to our students, then students will learn this process and this becomes their habit. And then it improves self-correction and autonomy of the students. So thank you. If you have any questions, you're welcome.
Yeah, thank you so much, Yayra. It was really great because you brought really practical, approach to formative assessment. And I think it was quite visually reflective process for us. Yes, because we could give the feedback and also be part of this discussion. This was really interesting. Thank you so much
for being active, for supporting. Yes.
Okay, now let's open the floor to questions and answers. So dear all, please don't hesitate to ask your questions. All those who are watching us on Facebook, please leave your questions in the comment box. So we will forward it to our speaker. So dear all, please, you can unmute yourself to ask your questions or leave your question in the chat box. Thank you.
Okay, here we have
question, Marima. You several times you mentioned authentic materials, but it is something unknown for me. Can you please describe what is authentic materials?
Yes, we can just address this question or approach question from two sides, like authentic materials and authentic task. Authentic materials are the materials that are not created for teaching, but just for L1 users. If in writing, then we may use different brochures, announcements, for example, video, etc., so that students watch and then they can write, etc. But authentic material, we make the materials when we adapt them, we design tasks, etc. And authentic tasks, I'm sorry. Authentic tasks are the tasks that we create for real life learning. And for example, the example that I showed, it was like announcement, right? Kind of contents announcement. And the students, after reading this announcement, they write the descriptive paragraph. So if we just ask them to write a descriptive paragraph, and that's not authentic task. But if we create authentic task, like by using, for example, announcements, this kind of, if we create this will be authentic task, and then it motivates students more to write rather than just, okay, you have a task, please describe a room or a place, and students won't be like motivated.
Thank you, Marima.
Yes, sorry. Okay, so here we have like very good comments, we can say, in the chat.
Yeah, also Mehri is raising her hand.
Yes, Mehri. Yes, Mehri, you're welcome.
Okay. I had such kind of to give feedback and to assess my student. I had 4 students at school, and they always prepared their lesson, and their speaking is very good. But you know that in public school we have only rubric mark, and we have only to take dictation from the students every quarter. And when I give dictation from the students, these 4 students, they always get mark 2 from dictation. But they are always prepare their lessons. They are always very good in speaking and doing other exercises. And then I started to change their mark in quarter, and I put them mark 4 for getting 2 mark for dictation. Two of them started work to prepare for dictation for writing, but 2 of them, they it crushed them so much, and they even didn't prepare their exercises, and it was really so terrible for me that 2 of them, they fall down really. What to do in such kind of situation?
Okay, so actually, yeah, dictation, it's like mostly listening, and then also like mostly like receptive writing, we can say, because they should listen and then they should write. Okay, when you looked at their papers, did you analyze their drawbacks? Like usually when they always submit this dictation, and then when you look through the errors, do they always make the same spelling errors? If yes, then giving just mark, I think that it's not enough, but we should look through and analyze as teachers. And then every time if students make the same mistakes, then we should select them for remedial teaching. And then this remedial teaching is not like kind of deductive one, but maybe we can organize this dictation writing as a game, as an activity, and then students become more interested to write, to pay attention to their spelling. And then also, if we indicate their like errors, or because this is mostly spelling, right? As it's like dictation. Again, like maybe we can use questions or checklist, right? Appropriate to the age and then the level of students. And then before they submit this, maybe they can, after they write dictation, because mostly it's like class work rather than like independent work. Then before submitting their dictation, give this checklist, and then ask them to go through the dictation. This is proofreading, and then use this checklist. And for example, if says like one question, and then they look through this, and then if they, when they are sure, then they put check. So I think this can work. But in the dictation, I think like it's very important to analyze their mistakes, and then remedial teaching is very useful, but not like teaching on the board always, but games, especially with young learners. Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Yayra. I think we have also some questions from our Facebook viewers. There is a question in the chat box which says like, what metric or signs should teachers look for to gauge whether the feedback they are providing is actually leading to student growth? Because yeah, sometimes like, you know, teachers are too harsh with their feedback that it really discourages students to work and also just to improve their mistakes.
Yes. This formative feedback, yes, formative feedback should be the process of process writing. If it's in writing, because oral feedback is okay. Yes, like students speak and then we give like immediate feedback. But when students submit their papers, first of all, we should understand as teachers, we should be patient and then understand that it is very beneficial for our students. And this must be process writing, where they bring their first draft, and then it takes like 1 week, usually, for example, in our experience, in our case. And then during 1 week, teacher writes this feedback and writes questions, and then they will be like, if students want to meet with the teacher, they meet with the teacher, then they bring the second draft, and then again the same. And then a third draft, if they need to get more feedback, they will submit before the third draft. Then in week 4, they submit the final draft. So it's not like one lesson writing, usually. It's process-oriented writing, process writing. If we just look at the writing as 1 week work, then of course it will be challenging for students, and then students will not benefit from the teacher's feedback. So it must be long. Like, for example, if we teach our students writing narrative essay, for example, or report, then we don't just say, okay, this is your report, and then bring next week, and then this is your feedback. No, at least 3 drafts. And then at the end, they submit the last draft. Only in that case, it usually works. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, thank you so much, Yayra. We have next question. What are some practical approaches for integrating feedback into daily lesson plans without disrupting the flow of instruction? It's in the chat box.
Okay, so daily lesson plan, during the lesson, we use different, for example, techniques can be used. We may just, if it's like feedback to the mistake of the student, then there are some techniques, right? So we just take notes, make notes, and then later we give collective feedback to the students, to the group at the end of the lesson. Or if it's immediate feedback, then we use different techniques. Again, like asking questions or repeating the sentences, for example, where students have those errors, or maybe the ideas are not like kind of to the topic, then of course we change the question. We change the structure, maybe like make it simpler. And then ask again this question. This is also kind of feedback. And also like self-assessment, peer assessment. And then there are some techniques that I use, like I usually give questions at the end of the lesson, or like reflective task. And then students reflect on their learning. This is also like feedback to their own learning. This is self-assessment.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, dear all, please use this chance for your last minute questions, because sometimes people think how to formulate their questions, and it takes time. So anyway, this was really interesting. Thank you so much, dear Yayra. From your own experience, what's your favorite formative assessment activity, and what's your favorite summative assessment activity?
So formative assessment activity can be different depending on the subject I teach. For example, in my methodology class, because I usually teach like TESOL students, and when our students are explained, when we discuss like types of activities, then students are given to modify one activity. They choose, because like 2nd year, 3rd year students, sometimes it's too early for them to ask to create their own activities, but they select one activity and then they modify it. And then they should target their like learners, for example, school children, etc. And then they should change it, modify it, and then they write reflection on why they changed it, what they modified, what they modified, and then why, etc. So they reflect. Reflection, I can say, it's one of the best things that or techniques that help students to improve, to learn. Reflection is also like formative feedback. So this is like why formative feedback? Because we don't like grade this, but we give feedback to the modified activities to our TESOL students. And then, or in the reading class, for example, they read and then different activities are organized, like jigsaw reading, etc., etc. And then at the end of the lesson, they will be like given 3 questions: what you have learned from the text, what else do you want to read about this topic, and then what was challenging. So, for example, these 3 questions make students think about the text, any text they read. And then this will also improve their critical thinking and then self-reflection. This is... Hello? Is this my internet frozen? No?
No, I think this is
We are hearing.
Yeah.
Okay, yes.
So,
Okay.
yes, let's wrap up
Very
today's
practical.
webinar. Nasiba, you
Okay.
back? I think something is wrong with the connection. Well, sometimes it
Yes.
happens.
Yes,
Okay.
Nasib is disconnected.
Yeah, dear Yayra, thank you very much for dedicating your time and your efforts to the growth of English language community in Tajikistan. We really appreciate this a lot. And we always look forward to have more and more webinars with you because you're a brilliant English language teacher and teacher trainer. Thank you again.
Yeah.
And dear
Thank you so
participants,
much.
thank you too for dedicating your time to grow together with EWB. Hope to see you all tomorrow during our speaking club. Don't forget to sometimes see what updates EWB has, because we have a really great opportunity right now going on for English language teachers and students. So check our social media pages. Yes, and I see you all tomorrow during the speaking club and next week during our regular Thursday webinar. Thank you very much, dear all.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Zoro. Thank you, Yayra. And thank you, dear audience who usually follow us and enjoy these kind of webinars. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Yes. Thank you so much to English Without Borders for inviting me. This is always like very pleasant and beneficial for me.
The webinars.
Yes, thank you for your active participation, and your support. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Yayra, as well. We are always happy to see you over and over again.
Yes,
Thank you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Goodbye.